Welcome to Ultimate Alliance Consultancy Private Limited, where we create high-quality corporate learning solutions. Visit uac.com.sg or call 633-85727 for more information. Research has shown us that employee training expenditure is as follows. In 2013, the Association for Training and Development came up with these numbers to highlight that the range of expenditure per employee was growing at a rapid pace in the United States, ranging from $700 per employee for large organizations all the way to $1,800 per employee for smaller organizations. In Singapore, however, there's a high rate of technology adoption, and organizations will increasingly need to tap into e-learning in order to access knowledge. This is because in Singapore, not only with the tight labor market, we're also experiencing a huge increase in the amount of work that needs to be done because of the productivity push. As a result, while there's still a demand for instructor-led sessions over in Singapore, it is necessary to contextualize things for e-learning so that there is a possibility for blended solutions as well as sustainable solutions in learning over the long term. Take a look at this slide. This is a study that highlights how video consumption has taken over two major generations, the Generation X as well as the Millennials. We can tell that baby boomers are not so interested in the consumption of video, but we all know that that's the direction that the world is going to. In due course, baby boomers are likely to leave the workforce, and the good news in Singapore is that unlike North America, the Workforce Development Agency has supplied retraining for the purposes of getting even those who are within the baby boomer generation to close that technology gap. This not only has major implications for the millennial generation, where your e-learning has to have robust video creation, but also for the baby boomers who are going to tap into some of this resource. The Asian market had an annual growth rate of 17.3%. raking in an industry-wide $7.1 billion in 2013. This is expected to reach $11.5 billion this year. One of the reasons is because governments have been rolling out initiatives to boost literacy. At the same time, another trend is on the horizon, which is mobile technology. And through the use of mobile learning, many areas have also started to grow, especially where e-learning is concerned. YouTube is flourishing because of the mobile technology that's in place right now. However, this also has implications for your current e-learning technology. If it is not mobile responsive, you will be losing out a huge chunk of that connectivity with your employees. As you can tell from the Chapman Alliance, e-learning costs have increased. For a single hour of level 3 e-learning, you can expect to pay $50,000. However, this is largely because there has not been a widespread adoption of disruptive and lean methodologies as well as lean software that enable an organization to create just-in-time learning and so on. The reason why these costs remain excessively high is because learning management system backend systems are really very difficult to use. In addition, the legacy systems of old are still being used. You're still using PowerPoint and you're still using very old video creation technology. Right now, using just-in-time learning, rapid instructional design, and a series of variation from slide video to face video, and even possibly live recorded web conferences, you could literally drop that entire price point by up to 60% or more. Take a look at this one. On the left is a sample of what we would consider a traditional e-learning platform, which is highly disengaging. We have static slides, and this was due to the legacy of having low internet bandwidth, but it's no longer the limit now, and we know that information can be far more entertaining. This is also way too verbose. 23 slides? You don't need such a huge amount of content. In fact, the amount of content should last no more than 10 to 12 minutes. Again, this is research coming from the millennial generation. Essentially, the adoption of e-learning technologies will allow you not just to have a foothold in the day-to-day learning processes of your employees, you'll also enable them to go into what we call a growth mindset according to what Carol Dweck, professor of psychology in Stanford University, has found to be one of the critical defining mindsets that enable people to learn, grow, and flourish. We know that the future is video-driven, but we also know that e-learning has to be more entertaining, and therefore we introduce to you gamified e-learning. Because storage used to be an issue, you would have to purchase hundreds of thousands of dollars of streaming media technology and house them in a data center. However, this is no longer the case. In fact, what's more necessary is to have systems that enable constant engagement and social presence. This will be the precursor to sustained learning. In order for you to do this, you need a platform that's robust enough to support this form of learning. When we get to work with you, we follow through a process that goes like this. Firstly, determining organizational needs. Then, identifying learner needs. Third, considering systemic implications and root causes so that we can identify effectively the kinds of resources that are required by your learning population, and therefore design those resources into our learning modules. Beyond that, we can then identify learners' deliverables and utilize that for learning support via gamification, because our system enables a very robust and effective manner to track whether learners are engaged and to get them back on board. This is going to result in our ability to support long-term development of competencies and not just one-off training programs. Here's an example of how we can save you time, energy, and money through the use of employee onboarding. So traditionally, HR will conduct an employee orientation workshop. However, this is a huge waste of time and resources, especially since we know that one-way orientation means that there are a lot of people who won't be able to absorb information as quickly or as well. Hence, we recommend the use of such a portal. You'll be able to create effective branding. Not only that, to also have a very personalized welcome through a central video, as well as include all forms of resources that they can download or refer to on a time-sensitive basis, and allow them to have access to it anytime, anywhere, even in mobile form. How digital onboarding works is like this. The portal can be branded with your logo and identity. Each employee will be given access to their email and given a special area to view these modules. They will be able to take notes from the training, and all necessary resources will be made available to them depending on the amount of content that you have. The future modules can also be listed below, while the employees are given assignments to complete in order to gamify the entire process. You'll also have a special area where you can approve those assignments, and this can be done either in-house by your HR business partners or can be outsourced to us. We can set up different permissions based on the status of your employee, depending on whether you want only managers to access that or only salespeople to access that. There'll be a timeline where you can communicate with your employee and they can communicate with others as well. And during this process, increase the social interaction even within an electronic platform. Here's another method by which we can save you time, energy, and money. Introducing gamified recruitment. As we all know, whenever you lose an employee, it's extremely costly for you to replace this employee. The cost estimation of recruitment is very, very large, and we're talking about upwards of 20% of the annual salary of an individual, simply because there is an inefficient way by which you use cutoffs in selection. Old methods require you to go through resume after resume after resume and require a huge amount of face-to-face time with underqualified candidates. As a result, most recruitment agencies take this chunk of time and charge you double while branding their recruitment company. Doesn't it make more sense if you, in HR, combine with corporate branding in order to make your own recruitment more sustainable? And therefore, more people will get to know you instead of a recruitment agency. How gamified recruitment works. First, the portal can be branded with your logo and identity, similar to the previous approach. Each candidate can be given access via email, or you can create a free video preview so that they can watch a video of your managing director or your CEO giving a quick introductory address. They can then be brought to a special area to view other videos or to read specific instructions about the company, such as its history, traditions, culture, and values. The candidate can then be given assignments to complete within a pre-specified period of time. And then you will be able to approve those once you've reviewed them. Gamification can kick in to determine how many points are given and therefore fairly determine who is able to come for the interview. Those who are not approved do not meet the minimum criteria for an interview, and therefore you weed out those whom you will find unnecessary to even meet in the first place. Interestingly, this approach can measure resilience and also bring you actual work samples. This, as we know, is the single most reliable approach to determine whether or not a person actually is able to produce work competently. This is also important for millennials who are already relatively technologically savvy and can help to determine whether or not a candidate has the growth mindset. You can also create an unlimited number of positions and posts. Our track record extends from organizations such as Fullerton Financial Holdings, Manulife, AIA, just to name a few, as well as government organizations such as the Ministry of Defence, Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the Attorney General's Chambers. So, if you're ready to get started, all you need to do is call us at this number or drop us an email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can so that we can arrange for a meeting to discuss your organization's learning needs. In the meanwhile, here's from Ultimate Alliance Consultancy, wishing you the very best, and we look forward to meeting you very soon.